Hello everybody, my name is Troublemaker, and I have a great little war game. This one comes from the Wargame Cup, and I believe it's round 2. And so our NATO player is going to be Mrood, Mrood, if you will, and his opponent will be Per Ole. And Per Ole is a guy who lasted about, say 5-6 rounds of the tournament, so he did relatively well. Was not in the final 4, final 8. He wasn't one of those types, but he was, you know, got a little over 50% of the tournament done. So we're going to look at some of his earlier plays. This is round 2, I believe, and the quality of competition at this level was quite low, and at that point it was even hard to see who was doing what. And so, whoa, Furong UAZ, this is weird. I don't even know what this is. It is a 0 armor UAZ. It costs the exact same thing as the normal UAZ. Intriguing. Any advantages at all? It is seemingly a carbon copy clone in every single way. It has absolutely no differences whatsoever, other than the fact that it's the exact same vehicle, possibly for a different company. Maybe East German, I suppose the Russian. So, well, we see a lot of heavy tanks and these BMP-1s here for Mrood. So it's going to be very tank heavy, a few anti-tank weapons, and some anti-aircraft. And all the while from Per Ole, we have a lot of infantry on this flank. And heading towards the middle, he's actually going to go for a 3 command strategy, which is rarely advised on this map. And never mind. Wait, what's he doing? Looks like he's going to try and take Delta, and he's going to have India and possibly Bravo, but it looks like he's holding out to Charlie at least. And so on this flank over here, we see 2 infantry moving over here for Mrood. However, there's a lot more infantry and flamethrower tank on this side, and roughly an identical flank over here, flamethrower tank and infantry. So it looks like he's going to try and play very aggressively. It's an odd look on this map because generally speaking, there's a A or B type scenario in which you either go A on this side of the map or B on this side of the map. It looks like Per Ole has in fact gone for both and is actually going to also take the middle. So all sorts of greedy play here from Per Ole right off the bat. And there's 2 infantry here. Going to pull back very quickly though. With infantry, it's good to get these locations on the woods because you can get a lot of random damage. Also, you get a lot of scouting information, especially if you dump them and then move your Scots, these cheap disposable units, anywhere else on the map. Of course, Per Ole being very, very cautious, avoiding this road completely, very smart, and all the while towards the middle of the map, or the eastern side, or maybe this is the west. Could be the west, but for now it's the east. Looks like Mrood is trying to get ready to make some sort of push, and all the while Per Ole has a small flank of infantry coming around the side here, and very wisely going to try and do a reinforcement block. And this is one of these maps where this is very obnoxious. The reinforcement between these 2 points is very, very fast, and basically the first person to do this will have a significant advantage. Now, speaking of significant advantages, looks like Per Ole is going for something really bizarre. I'm not sure what this is intended to do right now. Maybe trying to take both reinforcement points on the map on both sides, which of course is pointless if you have the one. Now, this isn't the only reinforcement point for Mrood. He also has this Gulf location, which will be much harder to reach, but he will be rallying units from this Echo base initially. And without a push here from Mrood, it looks like Per Ole is going to have the advantage of macroing up, as neither player have really made any sort of peak or engagement. And here comes 2 Scots to the rescue. What will he do with it? Will he put it inside this high school? No, he will not go for the high school. How about this small town? We'll name this small town Cherbourg, France. And will he be stopping in Cherbourg for a visit? It appears not. Whoa! Action has broken out as first blood will go to Per Ole with these very good units in the woods. And whoa, T-64s are going to go down as well. And a Tunguska. Ooh, these are not all good cheap units. These are all expensive units. And Tunguska narrowly getting away. And the infantry are just going to get clobbered. Now, if you're if you're hopefully watching this to kind of figure things out in the game, if you're playing at someone who's obviously new, like Mr. Mrood, there's two good positions. One, the first person to take this position or this position when you're in this scenario, which does happens in team play quite a bit, has a serious advantage. And it becomes the opponent's job to kind of get rid of this. Now, how do you get rid of this? Well, Per Ole has the answer. Artillery. You use artillery on this location. Clean it up. If you have this extra reinforcement point, you can rally in those artillery here, shoot them here, and get rid of them. Now, if you're attacking, though, this is a good start. It's a very, very good start. But eventually something's going to come in to clean this up. What you'll want is some cheap tanks. For Pact, I'm thinking T-55s. For NATO, I'm thinking Leopard 1A1. Stick them in the woods here, and that way, as things are coming out, you're doing awesome tank damage. It's just really good. Also, you can put in some... What's the one I'm thinking about? Some autocannon type fire will also do quite well. But I digress. You can kind of see how this trap works out pretty well. It takes a lot of power to really get rid of something as good as this combination of infantry and flamethrowers, because the flamethrowers are going to do insanely high morale damage to pretty much everything, and it's not like it's a unit that runs out of fuel. I mean, it still has 400 napalm. And it's, you know, it only fired 40 napalm to get 260 points of damage. And so now Mrood's in a little bit of trouble. He really needs to rally out a lot of these units to try and get rid of this reinforcement block, because currently it's doing a lot of damage for very little trade. And here's some whys. He has dumped off his Motos Jealousies, but no, he's actually moved his Motos Jealousies with his Scots. Now Scots should be positioned in nice little spots on the map. Personal favorites in the woods right here. It's a good spot. And like usually in a nice little place like this, there's a road leading here, and that can double over as spotting as opposed to using actual infantry. And looks like we're going to see another murder death kill of the Scott 1 carrier. Goodbye, Scott. It was fun knowing you. And whoa, crazy maneuvers here from the Scott, narrowly avoiding defeat, but whoa! All the while we see more units getting rallied out, pretty much getting instantly killed, not able to actually get these infantry out of their carriers in time. They will come out panicked and should run away relatively quickly if they even survive that long. And we can see Per Ole is going to immediately rally out lots more units, going for more of these TO-55s. One, of course, should be enough. Now we can see Mrood sneaking the OT-64-1 Scott carrier across the map. Has no weapons, so not going to be a great support in this particular battle coming up, as more units are coming in. And the idea with getting a position here, by the way, is just to basically creep up. If you can take this and this, you have a position that hits this way for this style of attack, and a position that will hit this way. And yeah, you're surrounded, but it's basically that good old-fashioned Patton strategy, you know, like, we're surrounded, well, great. Now we can shoot out all angles. And looks like everything just stopped for a second there. It looks like Mrood going to go for a pretty sizable push. Now, we don't see a command pullback here from Per Ole just yet. Mrood does not, in fact, see anything in this woods just yet. He's using these infantry to spot for these BMP-1s, but if he gets too close to this BMP-1, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Commander are not going to get pulled back very fast at all. Looks like it might actually go down. This could be a freaking serious blunder here from Per Ole, as the Spadal Karnowskis are getting closer and closer, just sneaking in. Here comes the command pull just at the very last minute, and more units are coming in. Hasn't really made great use of these artillery units yet. They could have definitely made that battle a little more one-sided. And the commander is pretty well safe. No hit points lost. T-64A going to move in the woods. This is a primary mistake this early in the game. Tanks should never be in the woods. Like, they're not a woodsing unit. They're not junglers. Infantry are your junglers. They're designed for jungling through the woods, gaining great position, and moving back. And it actually looks like the T-64s have been doing a lot of damage. That's largely because of this misplaced artillery fire. Artillery fire, of course, does have a friendly fire component, just like most fire in the game. And Commander goes down. Pretty expensive kill for Mrood, but he gets the job done. And now he should do a full hasty retreat. All the while, he's actually in a better position now because all these units are very isolated from the base. Base being, what the hell is going on here? So apparently the reason why Per Ole hasn't been doing as well is because he's apparently taking all the bases on the map. He's taking the entire western side of the map. And yeah, I'm guessing he's not done yet either. Now, none of these commands are actually defended all that well either. So looks like we're going to see Per Ole do a little bit of an all-in-ish type counter. He's going to take all of his existing forces, except for this little group here, and he's going to go in for a big all-in now. The Conquerors are leading the charge. Of course, not your best charge leading unit. They have no armor whatsoever. However, it seemingly is going to work out for him because he's able to get some shots off of the Conquerors without getting hit. At the poor Tunguska's midfield, the rocket does, of course, miss completely. And now he's created a flank, and he's actually done a relatively good job positioning. The only downside, of course, is that all these Conquerors will die. But when you look at this, what he's done, he's cut off the retreat path of all these forces so that they will die piecemeal. That's not too bad, considering the situations he's in. And he's just pounding these rockets on anything he can right now. The big target, of course, will be the Tunguska and the T-64A, of course. And here comes the T-64As of Per Ole in this packed versus packed death ball. Lots of T-64s. He's been able to afford quite a bit and just chewing apart these BMPs relatively easily. And the Conqueror's adding that critical fire that is just shooting and killing with crazy effectiveness. One supply truck will supply a lot of rockets out and continue this aggression as the artillery also supporting. And that group of units has pretty much been cleared out. Per Ole heavily advantage right now. He doesn't have any real anti-air. That's kind of going to be a problem. There is a single Havoc. Havoc, of course, one of these 165-point helicopters, and are very expensive and very easy to kill as well with just small amounts of anti-aircraft units. However, the Havoc can do a lot of damage, and it does get very scary. It's about a 200-point helicopter, and it just does really well. And whoa, Per Ole, no, it's not Per Ole, it's Mrood, in the woods with his tanks again. This time he's using the most expensive tank of the game, the T-80B. Oh, it's not the most expensive. It's close to the most expensive. Stop calling me a liar. And he might even snag this Kolos here, as fire will burn the BMP-1. And yes, he does get the Kolos complete resupply. The Bukmi is still alive, but who cares? And these infantry are actually running low on ammunitions. They're out of rockets. They'll no longer be able to deal with tanks that effectively, and they desperately need resupply. However, Per Ole is going to continue pushing forward. Looks like he somehow... Nope, there's the Havoc. Did not get the Havoc. Of course, it would be impossible. He didn't have anti-air. Tunguska is going to go down. There's a Furong UAZ here and a UAZ behind it. And it's kind of unfortunate because this Mrood is obviously a new player, but he's obviously practiced a little bit. The idea that he's going to get for these two bases here as opposed to some other. So one command down, and that actually hits our 1,500 point cap, giving a victory to Per Ole and Mrood. Maybe it's just Mrood. Mrood was kicked out of the tournament. Per Ole did continue on. He didn't make it too far, and I have more Per Ole matches coming up in the future. But for now, my name is Troublemaker, and I want to thank you guys for watching.